Yeah. So that's a perfect. Perfect. Right.
How can you watch the movie?
Boom. What's off that? Come on now.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Ready, guys?
Nah, but what's the
LaShawn. LaShawn, ready or not?
This is perfect.
Ready.
Alright.
Ready.
This is
Boom.
perfect frame.
She did the LL levels on.
Why'd you fucking do that for?
All right,
For
guys.
Joe.
Just for the ones that don't know who you are,
Mhm.
just introduce yourselves
Mm,
for our listening audience.
Mm-hmm.
You go first.
I'm Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97.
I'm Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97. What is that?
We're doing an interview. It's a
Talk
series.
like you though. Why are you talking like?
I'm Peter Rosenberg.
I'm Cypher Sound, Big Dog, Pitbull, Hot 97, Sucker Free on MTV, Shade 45, Jack Move, Mr. Don't Get Gas. Holla at your boy. If he's not there, holla at me. That's how you do it.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Excellent. Great, guys. Guys, we're going to just throw the questions at you, and whoever wants to answer. Like, if he answered, you like, well, I agree with him. His answer's fine. Like, you don't have to answer it.
Gotcha.
So we can do it like that. And you guys are used to editing, so try to answer it in a complete sentence.
Right.
If you can remember.
Gotcha.
All right? Thanks, guys. So, first question. Hot 97 is listed as a rhythmic contemporary radio station. How is that different from an urban contemporary format?
Technically,
Technically, I wouldn't say it's very different. Hot 97 actually, in terms of our programmers, our boss describes the station as actually a hip-hop station. And we kind of claim to be an actual hip-hop station, of which there are not very many. Most people fall into urban or rhythmic. And we're actually, even though we're listed as rhythmic, we're kind of a hip-hop station. Whereas an urban would be, in theory, a little bit more R&B heavy, etc. We lean a little more hip-hop as opposed to leaning R&B.
yeah, and there's definitely more white people in the mix with the ownership type of things. Usually urban is more black owned. Usually we get more advertising dollars
Being rhythmic.
being rhythmic.
Whereas like Radio 1 is urban. Radio 1, Kathy Hughes' company, it'd be like, straight urban.
Urban. That's the next question. Like, what other characteristics you think what other characteristics about the station makes it different from its rivals?
Hot 97?
Hot 97.
Hot 97 on its own differs from any of its rivals by personalities. We have very strong personalities. We have great programming. We have everyone here loves to be here, wants to be here, grew up here. A lot of people, and everyone cares about being here. It's not just a job. Everybody, and on my side, all the DJs would work here for free if they had to. Not that they're going to, but they love it and they would.
And from a programming standpoint, it's a Hot 97 is just a bit more hip hop. It's more about the actual hip hop culture of New York than any other station.
Like our boss is hip hop. Like even though he knows how to talk to all the owners and the corporate people, and he can suit up when he has to. Almost every day he's in a pair of sneakers and a ice cream BBC shirt and a baseball hat. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of us. We know how to talk to him. He knows how to talk to us. It's not like we're talking foreign to somebody.
Right.
So like, our peers and our upper management are one of us.
Gotcha. Just 1 second.
So she said.
So like I said before, you guys do work together on a radio show. How long have you guys been working together on that particular show?
Syph and I have been together for since August or so. I got up here in June. We started doing the show in the late summer. So maybe 6-7 months that we've been doing a show together.
Yeah, I've been here. I've been at Hot 97 for over 11 years now. As an intern, as a nighttime DJ. Now I got my own show, and then he comes here, and right away we're equal. It's not right, but whatever.
Yeah. I just
Whatever.
showed up off the street one day like, hey, I want to do radio. Can I play? And they were like, sure, we'll put you on with this guy. Now I was in DC, and I did lots of radio in other cities before I came to New York.
Right.
But we've been together. We've been doing a show together for about 6-7 months.
I don't need to do a show with somebody, but it's all good though.
All right. Financial benefits And celebrity aside, what other reasons motivated you to be a part of this industry?
Well, first of all, X out the financial benefits because there are very little financial benefits to being in radio.
Absolutely.
And the celebrity is kind of weak too because you're on the radio. Being in radio is for people like me and him. It's just what we grew up dreaming of doing. You know, I grew up listening to, visiting New York and listening to Marley Marl and Red Alert, and that's what I wanted to do was play hip hop records and talk about hip hop things on the radio. And I don't know. You really have to love radio as a medium to do this business. It's not television and it's not movies. It's its own thing. It's a very interactive part of people's lives, and like you have to really enjoy having that role in people's lives.
So you love it. You love it. That's what keeps you into it. You guys love it.
Yeah, I mean, I love music. I love DJing, and on radios where you get the biggest audience, and it's actually the very most intimate audience because, you watch TV, but you're not interacting with the TV like I could play a certain song and make a girl dance in her bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like having that power, and DJing music is one of the only ways you could make money in this industry is actually to get down with radio or go on tour or do gigs. You know what I'm saying? So I like to do all that kind of stuff.
All right. Fill in this blank. Without musical artists, there would be no radio industry. Without blank, there would be no Hot 97. And just elaborate.
Say the first part again.
Fill in the blank. Without musical artists, there would be no radio industry. Without blank, there would be no Hot 97.
Funkmaster Flex. Without Funkmaster Flex, there'd be no.
Flex, right?
Without Funkmaster Flex.
Go Flex.
Yeah, without Funkmaster Flex, there'd be no Hot 97 because that guy put his blood, sweat, and tears into building this radio station. He's been here about 16, 17 years now. And if it wasn't for him carrying that torch, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, there's a lot of other things, but that's my blank. What's your blank?
I was gonna say without.
Blank?
I was gonna say without hip hop. I obviously agree that Funk Flex is the foundation of the station. I mean, this station before Funk Flex started doing what he was doing and up to when he started was a dance station. This wasn't a hip hop station.
Right.
This played dance music until Funk Flex made Saturdays, made the weekends, Friday and Saturday night, like Street Jam was like what made this station have its identity. And like when I was coming up from DC visiting and making my parents listen at night, 10 o'clock on Fridays, 6 o'clock on Saturday. 7 o'clock on Saturdays?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. And, I think it was actually maybe 8 to midnight. It's what Flex is what created the station being the powerhouse that it is. But, I mean, obviously if there was no hip-hop culture, there is no Hot 97. I mean, they go hand in hand. I mean, even if you see a movie that I love, by the way, Brown Sugar, like great movie about hip-hop culture, it's like Hot 97 is hip-hop. Syph makes fun of me for overusing that terminology, but Hot 97 really is hip-hop. And there's the day, if hip-hop ever died, I don't know what this station would be. I mean, this station embodies the entire hip-hop culture.
So you guys totally disagree with Nas. Hip-hop is not dead.
Oh, we would totally disagree. I don't say we totally disagree. Hip-hop might be on a little bit of life support.
Right.
Hip-hop, the way I used to love it, is dead.
Okay.
It's definitely dead. It's definitely on its it's on its dying bed. But it's not dead completely. I mean, it's just not the same the way I used to like it. Now it's getting to be more like a job, where it used to be more about the music.
I mean, hip hop as a culture that breathed like a whole way of being in terms of people making people money, giving people a life. I think hip hop's probably more alive now than it's ever been. But in terms of it being this fun culture that makes you wake up in the morning and think about it, it is different. The amount of time that I spend thinking about hip hop that I love is not the same now as it was in 1993. But at the same time, we're also getting older. I never know whether a 13-year-old would feel that way.
But what I think it is because I remember a time when there was no hip hop, and I don't take it for granted that I helped my small part help build hip hop to the way it is now. These kids nowadays it's just there. So they don't remember a time when they couldn't have it. There was a time when growing up you could only get it on the radio Friday and Saturday for 3-4 hours. So you would live for those times. Now it's on all day everywhere. So they don't love it the same. They do love it. They love music. Everyone loves music. The music's on. They rock to it. They dance to it. But you know, it's not the way we remember where we had to fight to get it.
Kids, they'll never understand that there was a time when I remember when at Sam Goody and all those places when they added the rap section. Because before that, you would go to the soul section to find rap albums. There was not a section in the store. So being involved in it meant a lot more. It's like you were part of a secret society. It was like a totally different culture.
Do you guys feel that radio stations have a responsibility to play music without violent lyrics or those of a graphic sexual nature?
Do radio stations have a responsibility?
If you need to answer that, we can pause it.
No, it's the emails. It's not a phone. It's just emails. I don't know. That one's tough.
I think radio stations have responsibility, but I think more than anything, I think the responsibility gets taken away from the artist too much. I believe artists have a responsibility. I mean, that responsibility is whatever they determine it to be. So it may not be the same for Soulja Boy as it is to LL Cool J.
Right.
But to someone like LL Cool J who's grown up and now you get older and you have your own children and you start seeing the way your music affects people, I believe that artists have a responsibility. Radio station's job is to entertain listeners. That's what our job is. So if kids want to hear, if the market that's out there is for crap that involves lots of sex and violence, well then that's what's going to be. We can't play music that doesn't exist.
Radio has to do its job regardless of what the music that comes out. They have to play. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Our job in radio is to entertain people and let them hear the songs they want to hear. It just so happens now that the amount of people that want to hear great hip-hop, that's this type of hip-hop we grew up on, hey, I do my show every week and it's a couple hours where you can find stuff like that, and that's all that's really needed these days because the market doesn't demand it. The market demands lots of Chris Brown, no disrespect, but lots of Chris Brown. He's one of the better guys probably, but lots of stuff like that, Omarion, etc., and lots of Soulja Boy and all that. That's what's out there, and until the record labels decide that other music could be financially viable, that's what's going to be what's available.
And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that people don't understand about radio. As far as we're concerned, we're in the programming department. Our job is to play what the people want to hear enough times where they always go to our radio station to hear their favorite songs or to hear their favorite interviews or hear their favorite personalities. Radio's job, we're not in the music business. We're in the advertising business. That's where we get our money from. The music business, we help the music business promote their records so that they can make money. The way we make money is by selling advertising space. So if the people want to hear something, and in order for us to get our ratings up to make more advertising money, that's what's going to play. So it's not like we really have little to do with the music. You know what I'm saying? It's we play what the people want to hear.
There you go. All right. As well-known radio personalities, do you guys feel the need to be role models to your listening fans? Why or why not?
I'm not well known, so safe.
Yeah.
But you are though, Peter. You are though.
I mean, I consider myself a role model, but not because I'm in radio or because I'm in the music industry. I just consider myself like I always try to help people. Now, being on the radio and increasing the celebrity makes a lot more people listen. But I'm a very real type role model. I don't sell dreams. Like, I talk reality. I say life is harsh and you have to be prepared for things like this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talks in these big, landmark and skyscraper type dreams of like all these big things you could do, which you can, but you also got to learn the basics. So I try to teach the basics. Like your friend, one day it's gonna stab you in the back.
True.
Gem from the crown.
And
Hold
if you
that.
know it's coming, it won't hurt as much.
Take that.
Anything else you want to add to that?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm a good person and I'm a flawed person, but as Saif can attest to, I'm very flawed, especially with timeliness. I'm a good person though, and so I always feel like I want to portray myself as a good person. But my whole thing with radio is always about being real. So I'm real about I talk about women in a way that can be childish or like, a typical man. Yeah, sometimes that's sometimes how I am, but generally I feel like the message that I portray through my show and what I try to talk about is conscious and positive. I mean, I think if it's whatever field you're in. If you're a good person, then you present yourself as such.
Right, that's
And
gonna come out.
if you're a piece of garbage, then that's gonna come out. So I mean, I certainly am not in a position to be like, hey kids, drink your milk, and I'm not Hulk Hogan. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. But I try to be at least semi-positive. I mean, I think that's important.
How important is content when you guys select a record to be played? When you're on the air, you're doing a party. How important is content to you?
Content of the record, like
Right.
the lyrics,
Right. How important is that?
to me, not that much. I'm looking for like, me personally, I listen to the beat first, and there's not a big variety of content nowadays.
Right.
So I'm looking at what's gonna make the people dance and club bangers. Like there's one song out right now which is on DJ Drama's album, the Outcast song, which I think is filled with dope content. And I listened to it, but it didn't pop off.
You tried.
It's not like a club banger, you know what I'm saying? Like, but Andre's
Didn't
saying
go
some,
nowhere.
he's saying some crazy stuff on there. I play it. I do my part. I let the world hear it. It didn't take off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what reason. I don't know if it wasn't promoted or if it's too much content. But I don't. To me, I'm not here to like change people's lives. People pay me to entertain a room and play music. That's what I do.
Yeah, I look. My shows. The show that I do without Saif, my own show, is like it's underground hip hop. So I certainly try to find stuff that's the content's good. But I'll be honest, I play a lot of Prodigy. I play a lot of stuff that the content isn't exactly positive, but it's good music. I have a very fuzzy line in terms of content.
Okay.
I can handle content being a little bit questionable if the music is really good. But if it's just bad content and semi-crappy music, I'm not that into it. But I have a benefit of that. Saif plays Saturday afternoons 12 to 4. So Saif has to play stuff that the people want to dance to.
Right.
I'm fortunate in that I got shoved in Sunday night at 1 a.m. where they're like, hey, play what you want. So I get to choose records that have some meaning or something like that. But I mean, it's a balancing act. You want to play stuff with content, but you don't want to shove it down people's throat and have them listening to some lyrical stuff that doesn't make them want to dance or doesn't get them excited. That's useless.
At the end of the day, you want to entertain your listener audience.
Yeah, we're not here to teach. KRS was a scholar and a preacher and a teacher, but we can't do that every day.
Like Lupe says, dumb it down. But
Look-
he says he's not going to dumb it down.
He's still probably done it a little bit.
All right, this is related to our last question. You guys feel radio stations should refuse to play music from artists that consistently have trouble with the law, i.e. T.I., Lil Wayne, Remy Martin, Lil Kim?
You mean shut down the radio station?
No, as far as...
Well, I mean, I'm saying that's a lot of because
Yeah,
a lot in
that's
hip hop,
true.
a lot of people have
That's
trouble.
True. That's true, very true.
Well, to me, it's like you don't shut down Lindsay Lohan's movie because she's always in the news with rehab and all that stuff. It's like people are like to me the music has nothing to do with the artist. Like if you make a dope song, it's a dope song. That's where it stops. I don't judge people. Like I don't judge Remy or T.I. Like it's not me personally. I don't know. I'm a strange case. I mind my business.
Okay.
I don't get involved with rumors and talking ish and all that stuff. Even though on the radio, you kind of do have to get into that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I personally, I'm like, yo, I don't know that man. Why am I talking about him? I mind my business.
Syph has a very New York, mind your business, keep it moving attitude.
That's cool.
I step up. I get on my high horse a little bit more often. Like I'm not. I think you should draw a line at some point. You know. I don't know if somehow R. Kelly ever came to trial and was guilty, then I think that's something case by case that stations might think, well, we don't want to play his music anymore, and I think that would be a fair thing to do. In the case of someone like T.I., though, that's the thing. It's all case by case. T.I. hasn't killed anyone. T.I. hasn't done anything. He has an odd collection of weapons, but he's not a bad guy. So.
But here's what I'm saying: you don't even know T.I. You don't know if he's a bad guy.
It's true.
You don't know.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have any proof that he's a bad guy. If someone gets convicted of a bad crime, then I think you have it's the obligation of the station to at least consider whether or not you should continue to support them. I don't know if I was a program director, if how I would feel about playing certain artists, but at the same time,
You still gonna watch Michael Vick?
I will.
Good question.
I'm a Vic fan, so I will watch Michael Vick. I wouldn't watch his dog fights.
Yeah, I do it. I judge it by the music. That's what I'm here for. Like, I'm not a counselor.
Right.
I'm not a.
You
I'm
don't
not.
care
A,
what they do on the street.
I'm not a judge. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it don't affect me.
You believe the parents. It's the job of parents to make sure their kids understand that music's entertainment and not to be basing their life off of what the rappers they listen to do.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm talking about what the artists do. Like, I'm blessed because Flex told me early, don't get gassed. And I keep myself extremely humble. And I seen dudes come and go in this industry. They get a little bit of money, a little bit of fame, and their head just blows up. And they start acting crazy and start thinking that they could just do whatever they want to do. And the world doesn't work like that.
Right.
And as you can see in the last year or so, last 2 years, they've been putting niggas in jail. And they've been shutting everybody. They've been like, yo, hold up. This nigga's out of control. Kim, go to jail. Vic, go to jail. Styles P, go to jail. Like, they're putting people away. I don't want to go away.
And you don't do anything to put you away.
They're saying go to jail right now. Like now.
Yeah. Like, not even like it's going to be a long time. Well, that's what makes the R. Kelly thing so crazy is because somehow he had maybe the most serious allegations of anyone, and he never saw a courtroom. Kim's situation was like, Kim barely did anything, and she actually did time for a year. She did like legit, semi-legit time. So yeah, keep your nose clean, rappers.
Cypher and Peter, what does community mean to you guys?
In terms of the hip hop community, or in terms of
Just in general, what does community mean to you? In relation, and of course, in relation to music.
yeah, I guess that's actually a really interesting question. Community is a word that everyone uses all the time without really thinking about what it is. I mean, I think of community as it's almost a wishful word. It's like what you hope this whole thing is.
Right.
You know, like it's like the hope that at the end of the day there's a common good that most people hope for. And when I say like I'll definitely mention the community on the air. I'll get on the air and say, someone was shot and killed, and I certainly hope that in our community or whatever that this is a bad example, whatever it may be. And it's acknowledging that all people are in it together to a certain extent.
Right.
Whether that is the community of New York City or the hip hop community or whatever, or my kid's Jewish community, whatever community you fit into. Whatever community you fit into. And sometimes I have issues with every one of those communities. If you take is it a Venn diagram or Venn diagram? Those circles, the circles? So you take your different circles, like a Jewish community, hip-hop community, New York community, and then there are a few of us who get in all three of them.
Right.
Plenty of us. Mark Ronson. So, you have certain issues with each community that you're a part of, and sometimes you're frustrated and disappointed, and sometimes you love it and you get a lot of support from that community. Community is important, though, in the sense that it is the concept that we all care about each other, and it's the concept that we all want things to be better for one another. I guess that's what I would take away from that word.
It's an excellent answer.
You stick with
I
that?
think community to me is nothing but a bunch of people in a certain area. Because no matter what type of community you're in, there's haters, there's sluts, killers,
Right.
there's good people, there's honest people. It's just a group of people. And I don't know, like, I'm part of a few different communities, but I don't trust anybody.
You're loud. You're definitely allowed that.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody. I mean, not that I walk around with a grim face all day looking at people like I don't trust you.
No, you do walk around with that face.
Okay, I do. But yeah, I don't. Not that I don't trust anybody. I don't put anything past anybody. That's how I word it.
I got you.
Put it like this: if you take 5,000 people and you want to move them from New York to Ohio or from New York to Arizona, there's gonna be little cliques forming. There's gonna be somebody's gonna get killed either by accident or on purpose.
Mhm.
There's gonna be people falling in love. There's gonna be gossip and talk, and the older people might stick together, younger people might stick together. It's just when there's a group of people, those things always happen. It's natural. So somebody's gonna steal from somebody else. Somebody's gonna think that person is a liar.
Always.
That's why when they go, like, that's why friendly fire is when you go to war. Like, sometimes people in our army and stuff die from other people in our services by accident, and we look at it like, oh, it's sad, but that happens here too. It's just bigger, and you don't notice it as much. If you take a group of people anywhere, that's just the way the world is. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna be born. You know what I'm saying? Someone's gonna get pregnant. Somebody's gonna fall, and
Natural occurrence.
yeah, no matter what.
Great answer. Great answer, Seth. All right, let's speed it up a little bit. Can you tell us a time when you were disappointed in radio, such as poor quality of music, poor artist exposure, bad ratings? From what I know, you can't talk about that much. And if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine.
Disappointed in our station or
Just radio in general. Like you worked in radio, like you was like, wow, I'm disappointed in radio. Was there ever a time?
I think that everyone who's worked in radio has been consistently disappointed with radio for 20 years. If you look at what radio was, you go back to like the 50s, for example, and you saw the job that DJs got to have and how they broke records and broke artists. Don't get me wrong, there was payola, all that stuff still
Right.
existed. But the role that they got to play